What's up, you sweaty nerds and greasy degenerates? So we just had the 2.0 special programming for Honkai Star Rail. So that means we've learned about the new characters coming to the game, and in this video, we're going to be covering what we learned about the new 5-star premium Harmony character, Hanabi, otherwise known as Sparkle, depending on what part of the world you are from. So let's get into this. I will be calling her Sparkle in this video because that seems to be the most common region name. My apologies if you are from a region where she is called Hanabi. Personally, I like Hanabi more, but what do I know? But let's move on and get to it. Sparkle is a member of the Masked Fools. You can even see her literal mask in the splash art for her. So she is probably closely tied to the Aeon known as Aha. I'm not kidding, the Aeon's name is literally Aha. She is a follower of the Elation, but be aware, she is on the path of Harmony as far as combat is concerned, so she will be a strong buffer for your team. Apparently, as part of Sparkle's lore, she has only one rule, and no other silly rules can tie her down or hold her back. And I kind of like that. She doesn't let the bullshit get in the way of enjoying life. As a result, part of Sparkle's design was made to remove all restrictions according to the devs, which I find ironic because Hoyoverse didn't tell us much about her kit, which feels very restrictive if you ask me, but I'll stop being bitter now and try to explain what we learned in the 2.0 special programming to the best of my abilities. So please correct me in the comments if you feel like I missed something or if you have your own interpretation on what was shown, because although they didn't say much, we were still able to learn a whole lot. And don't worry, as soon as we get more public information on Sparkle, I'll be making an updated video for her, and I'm sure many others will too. So let's get into what we know about her kit so far. For example, it seems like they mentioned Sparkle's talent to a degree. If I'm not mistaken here, it is called Red Herring, which I find hilarious because Hoyoverse put red herrings everywhere in their games. They are good at misdirection. When Sparkle is on the battlefield, your maximum number of skill points will increase. And from what we can see on screen, it seems the maximum number of skill points will increase by 2, giving us potentially up to 7 skill points. I'm confident there is more to her talent than this, but that is all they mentioned in the 2.0 special programming right now. Her ultimate, however, appears to be called the Hero with 1,000 Faces, which is fitting, and this ultimate instantly restores skill points for your team. In the demo, it appears to have restored 2 skill points, but if they cut up the demo, it's possible my interpretation could be skewed. The devs quite literally said that this breaks skill point restrictions, but that, quote, everyone knows that rules are meant to be broken, end quote. Which I find cute, because if you break Hoyoverse's rules, they will burn you at the stake. Just kidding, tee-hee, ooh-woo, heh-heh. Okay, I'm moving on. Sparkle's skill is called Dream Diver, but I need to point something out here. It is at this time that the devs mentioned that Sparkle has an ability that allows your team to deal more damage by consuming skill points. So Dan, Heng, and Bibiter Lune mains, and of course QQ mains, I'm talking to you. This is your moment to shine, baby. Dan and QQ stocks are going way, way up. In fact, I know this might sound crazy, but depending on how strong this buff actually is, QQ might actually be the best DPS for mono quantum teams when Sparkle releases rather than Seela. Boy, the Seela stocks keep going down every new patch. It's kind of rough because all we know is that QQ loves to use skill points and Sparkle wants to buff your skill point damage based on the amount of skill points that you use. In fact, QQ was the main DPS showcased in Sparkle's demo, and I think that may have been a little bit of a hint. I think considering the timing of when this ability was mentioned, this is probably attached to her skill, but correct me if you know otherwise. Sometimes abilities like this may be triggered from skills but might actually be part of the character's talent, for example, and they don't always differentiate that in the special programming at times. The next ability, mentioned by the devs, explains that you will be able to buff advancements in your turn-based actions using Sparkle. And thankfully, the devs actually did tell us point blank that Sparkle's skill allows allies on your team to advance forward their actions. But this is an important part. You can only do this up to a degree, according to what they said. So it seems like there is some type of a restriction or possibly a requirement attached to this ability. So stay tuned for when we get the character introduction in the future, because we will be learning more about Sparkle once that day comes, and is typically given to us a few days before her release. But the way this advanced actions forward was described is that when your turn ends, it's still your turn. At least that's the wording that they used in the 2.0 special programming. Unfortunately, we don't seem to have learned anything about Sparkle's technique, but again, as soon as we learn more information about her publicly, I will definitely be making an updated video as soon as it's available. And also, in 2.0, both Sparkle and Black Swan will get their own companion missions as usual, which will tell us more about the new characters and their personal lore. And I have a feeling Sparkle will have a very interesting companion mission, since she is a part of the Masked Fools. For all we know, she may even be a villain, or have some kind of conflicted interest within the main story of the game. So, what do I think of this character so far? Well, you don't need me to tell you that Harmony characters up to this point have been absolutely phenomenal. And in my personal opinion, I think that support characters are the most important characters in the entire game. Think of it this way. You can fix a bad team setup with a really, really good support character, but you can't necessarily fix a bad team setup with one singular good DPS character. And that really says something. So I think that Hanabi, Sparkle, whatever you may want to call her, is set up to be a very, very good character. And just like with Ruan Mei, this is one of only 2 5-star premium characters we've gotten in this game so far. This is a very, very good moment for players, because if you didn't already have a good support character, this could be the good support character for you. So stay tuned for more information coming to us about Sparkle in the future. Don't pull the character day one if you're not sure, and don't worry, we will get more information about her publicly in the coming weeks or, month. Don't worry, it will come before her release, so you will be prepared. Just stay tuned. And if you found this information helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, consider leaving a like or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.